Well, good day and welcome to another segment of Fly Fishing Pass It On. Today we'll be talking about know your adversary. It's really important that we understand what we're chasing, our target species. Sometimes there's strains of that species alone that are different from each other, and are very important to know. It'll really simplify your fly selection. You can break it right down to their preferences and their behaviors to, get the job done and become a much better angler. So today we're going to look at rainbow trout, for example. There's so many different strains, Gerards, Pennask, Blackwaters, Fraser Valleys, Kamloops, Athabasca, Colorado, Eagle Lake, New Zealand, and it goes on. There's many, many strains. Now we talk about trout, of course. There's so many different species such as cutthroats, brook trout, browns, tiger trout, golden trout, bull trout, which browns, brookies, and tigers are char. They're really not a true trout. But there we go. Now, for an example, let's take a look at just Pennask rainbows and Blackwater rainbows. Okay, just those two strains alone, for example. The Pennask are typically little bug eaters, they like chironomids or midges, however you want to say it. If you're from Europe, they're buzzers. And, so you're going to be targeting them with those style of patterns. They like fishing mid-water column and that type of thing. So it gives you a lot about, get to know what's in that water body, so you can check out your stocking reports from your local jurisdictions. They usually have them posted online. There's a lot of other resources online that'll tell you all about that strain if you just dig into it a little bit, and it'll really be helpful for your next trip. Then there's another example of the Blackwater strain, which are stocked in lakes. Maybe there's a lot of bait fish in there, coarse fish, we'll say, and they'll kind of keep them licked up. They like being more on meat. They're more of a meat eater, I'll say, so I'll be targeting them with dragonfly nymphs. I know they like the bottom. They also like big chunks of meat. They're going to be chasing bait fish, maybe large sedge patterns and so forth. So I'd be down to probably 6 patterns when I'm going to a lake with Blackwaters, and the same when I'm going for Pennask. So you can get it all kind of dumbed down. You're really prepared when you hit the water that you've got it narrowed down from hundreds or even 1,000 patterns down to half a dozen, which is a huge accomplishment. Now then you'll have to go into play about the weather and where the fish may be holding, time of year, and all that. So you can see the pieces of the puzzle. It can be quite intricate. So my point is, why on Fly Fishing Pass It On here, is we try to break it all down into little segments for you, little bite-sized chunks. When you take each one of those and you just look at it very simply put, it's going to become so much clearer for you, and you understand it. It's quite a feeling. I know when I started, and for many years, you go fishing, you're very intimidated. You don't know where to go, so we start from zero and we keep growing throughout the years, and the more days on the water, the more we learn. And if you get to a strange piece of water, another good point would be, what I always say is, talk to the old man on the lake. Sometimes we're going online for information. Some of the best information I've ever got was talking to some of these old timers that have probably fished that lake their entire life. They'll shorten up your game real quick. They'll give you a couple fly patterns to tell you what to be using and really be helpful. And many times we're going to places where there's nobody else and to question or whatever else, or local shops, whatever. They're also a good source of information, and they're quite helpful. So I always suggest to reach out to those people as well. And if you're going into these fly shops, I just want to make a note of that. These folks are really driven to give you good service, good information, very, very helpful. And they'll have a board on the wall with the hatch charts and all this stuff, but it is not just free information, guys. I mean, they're not asking for anything, but buy something from them. Keep them doors swinging. We need these fly shops up and down the road. They are a critical element to our sport, and I really hats off to all those folks. They have guides on the water all the time, giving them feedback. This is years and years of information at your fingertips, and they're willing to share that with you. So hats off to all those guys and gals that are making such a difference in our industry. So like I say, get to know your adversary. I know like rainbow trout fishing is going to be a lot different than bass or pike or you name it. So we'll cover some of these other species as well and kind of give a short little breakdown of what may and may not help you on those water bodies as well. So thanks again for tuning in today to Fly Fishing Pass It On, and we look forward to having you back real soon. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching Brent's Fly Fishing Instructional Series. He can be found on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.